Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the morphology of inflorescence from chapter 5 from your class 11 biology syllabus. The name of the chapter is Morphology of Flowering Plants. So first we should discuss first we should know what's the basic definition of the inflorescence. The inflorescence is the arrangement and distribution of flowers on the floral axis. I am repeating again. What's the definition of inflorescence? The inflorescence is the arrangement and distribution of flowers on the floral axis. So here it's written also, this is the arrangement of the flower on floral axis is called the inflorescence. So flowers actually develop either from axillary or terminal buds. So they may arise singly or in clusters. So when born singly, the flowers are called the solitary. If present in clusters, they constitute an inflorescence. So floral axis or stalk bearing an inflorescence is called the peduncle. A flat peduncle is also known as the receptacle. So in certain plants, the flowers develop on the old stem without any relation to axillary or terminal bud. It's called the cauliflory. So normally there are two types of the inflorescence. Actually we find the first one is the racemose, second one is the cymose. So what's the meaning of the racemose inflorescence? That it is actually the indefinite inflorescence. It is actually the indefinite inflorescence where the peduncle can produce indefinite number of flowers due to continued activity of growing point. I am repeating here. Here it's written properly the difference between the racemose and cymose. The racemose inflorescence is the indefinite and cymose inflorescence is the definite. And next one is the racemose inflorescence is the monopodial branching and cymose inflorescence is the sympodial branching. Racemose inflorescence is the youngest flower at the apex or at the center. Cymose inflorescence is the youngest flower near the base to the outside. So, in the case of the racemose inflorescence, it's actually the indefinite inflorescence in which peduncle can produce indefinite number of flowers. Okay. So, the main axis or stalk of a solitary inflorescence is called peduncle and stalk of the individual flower is called the pedicel and long simple or branched peduncle is called a rachis and the dilated or flattened peduncle is called receptacle and the unbranched naked peduncle which is actually developed from the underground stem is called the scape or radical peduncle. The stage or platform on which the floral parts actually situated is called the thalamus. Okay. So I am repeating again. The main axis or stalk of a solitary inflorescence is called the peduncle and the stalk of individual flower is called the pedicel. A long simple or branched peduncle is called the rachis and the dilated or flattened peduncle is called the receptacle. The unbranched naked peduncle developing from the underground stem is called the scape and the stage or platform on which the floral part situated is called the thalamus. Just look at the diagram here. The A is actually depicts the peduncle of the China rose. Okay. Diagram B is actually the LS of the flower of China rose. C scape of the onion. Peduncle and pedicel of the mustard and the receptacle of the sunflower. Okay, so this is the basic thing. This is actually the mixed inflorescence. So apart from the racemose and cymose, so there are another inflorescences there, that the mixed inflorescence. So this is the actually the combination of the characteristics of both racemose and cymose types, or of the two types of the racemose. Okay, next thing is the racemose inflorescence. So first one is the raceme. So when peduncle, actually what's the meaning of the peduncle? This is called the main axis, is elongated and flowers are pedicellate. Example, radish. Characteristics features of the crucifery. Next one is the corymbs. In it, peduncle is short and all flowers are present at same level, because the lower flower has much long pedicel than the upper one. Next thing is the umbel. An inflorescence in which the flower stalks of different flowers are of more or less equal length arise from the same point. The base of flower stalks there is hole or bracts forming the involucre. Next one is the capitulum. So in it, the growth of peduncle is retarded and it becomes broad, flattened, concave or convex. Its small flowers are called the floret. Okay. So if all the flowers of capitulum are same, then it's called the homogamous. If two different types of floret, ray floret and disc florets are present in same inflorescence, then it's known as the heterogamous. Okay. So this is the racemose type of the inflorescence. Next thing is the cymose inflorescence. Next is the cymose inflorescence. What's the meaning of the cymose inflorescence? Cymose inflorescence is in this type of inflorescence, the peduncle terminate in a flower. Okay, in this portion, in this type of inflorescence, the peduncle terminate in a flower. In it, the older flowers are present at tip and young buds are arranged towards. This arrangement is called the basipetal succession. Okay. Next thing is the uniparous chyme or the monocasyal chyme. So the peduncle ending in a flower producing lateral branch at a time of ending in flower. Types: helicoid chyme, scorpioid chyme and the rhiphidium. So helicoid chyme, what's the meaning of the helicoid chyme? When all lateral branches developed on the same site on peduncle, then it is called the helicoid chyme. Example, Atropa dhatura. Next is the scorpioid chyme. In it, the lateral branch is alternately developed on left and right side. Example, begonia. Next thing is the rhiphidium. In monocasyal chyme, all flowers are borne on same plane. Example, solana. So this is the basic thing. Okay. So some special type of inflorescence is also there, like the cyanthium, hypothodium. Next thing is the mixed inflorescence. So what's the definition of the mixed inflorescence? That here sometimes the flowers are arranged in both racemose and cymose manner on same peduncle, called the mixed inflorescence. I am repeating again, sometimes flowers are arranged in both racemose and cymose manner on same peduncle, that's called the mixed inflorescence. The mixed spadix, banana, cymose, racemose is the grapes. So what's the characteristics? So this is the inflorescence, and this is the normally two types of inflorescence actually find in the plant's body, that the racemose and cymose. Apart from the racemose and cymose, there are another types of the inflorescence is also there, that the mixed inflorescence. So I am again discussing one thing, that what's the basic difference between the racemose and cymose inflorescence. That in the racemose inflorescence, that growth is indefinite or indeterminate. In the cymose inflorescence, growth is definite or determinate. In the racemose inflorescence, flowers are borne laterally. In the cymose inflorescence, flowers are actually terminal, though they may appear to be lateral. In the racemose inflorescence, growing points does not end in a flower. In the cymose inflorescence, growing point or terminal bud always ends in a flower. In the racemose inflorescence, the arrangement of the flowers is centripetal if the peduncle is reduced. In the cymose inflorescence, flowers develop centrifugally if the peduncle is reduced. Okay. In the racemose, floral axis is monopodial, and in the cymose, the floral axis is the multipodal. Okay, so this is the basic things of the inflorescence. Next thing is the morphology of flower. In your syllabus, the two things are only included from this chapter 5, that the morphology of inflorescence and flower. Okay, so next thing is the flower. So what's the basic definition of flower? Flower is a condensed specialized reproductive shoot found in angiosperms. Okay, I am repeating again. Flower is a condensed specialized reproductive shoot found in the angiosperm. Because of its presence, angiosperms are also called the flowering plants. It often develops in the axil of a small leaf-like structure called the bract. If the bract is present, the flower is called the bractet. In case, so here it's totally depicts that style. Okay, this is the style: stigma, calyx, pedicel, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so one flower has total 4 parts, that the calyx, corolla, androecium and the gynoecium. One flower has total 4 parts, that the calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So what's the meaning of the calyx? Calyx is the collection of sepals, that green and polysepalous. Okay. And what is the meaning of corolla? That this is the collection of the petals, bright yellow, expanded above, free or polypetalous. Next thing is the stigma, style and ovary. This is actually accumulatively unitedly called the gynoecium. Next thing is the androecium, that the anther and filament, stamen, anther and filament. Okay. So what's the characteristics? That the flower is highly condensed and modified reproductive shoot. The part from where flower arises is called the bract. That the flower has short or long flower stalk, which is called the pedicel. The upper part of the pedicel is swollen, spherical, shaped or colonial, which is called the thalamus or receptacle. So normally, what's the meaning of flower? It's actually the condensed and the modified reproductive shoot. Flower is highly condensed and modified reproductive shoot, and a flower develops from a bud either axillary or terminal. So tip of the thalamus can prolong to form another flower or vegetative shoot. Example is rose. And thalamus may show internodes between various types of the floral organs: atmosphere, androsphere, gynosphere. Okay. Next is the complete flower. Next is the complete flower. Okay. So when what's the meaning of the complete flower? That when calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium are present, that's called the complete flower. When androecium, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium is present, that's called the complete flower. And what's the meaning of incomplete flower? That flowers with one of the 4 hole is missing. Flower with one of the 4 hole is missing, that's called the incomplete flower. Next is the bisexual flower. Both gynoecium and androecium present in the same flower. What's the meaning of the bisexual flower? Both gynoecium and androecium present in the same flower. That's called the bisexual flower. Unisexual flower. Androecium or gynoecium, any of them are present in the flower. That's called the unisexual flower. Monoecious plant and dioecious plant. Monoecious plant, when both male and female flowers are present on the same plant. When both male and female flowers are present on the same plant, that's called the monoecious plant. And what's the meaning of the dioecious plant? When male and female flowers are present on the separate plant, that's called the dioecious plant. Polygamous plant, when unisexual, bisexual and neuter flowers are present on the same plant. Example is mango. Monocarpic plant, the plant which produces flowers and fruits only once in life. Example, bamboo, pea, mustard. Polycarpic plant, the plants which produces flowers and fruits many types in life. That's called the polycarpic plant. Okay. Next thing is the symmetry of flower. So what's the meaning of the symmetry of the flower? The arrangement of the petals, floral organs around the axis of the flower. It is actually the arrangement of different floral organs around the axis of the flower. So normally there are three types of the symmetry of flower is there: actinomorphic, zygomorphic, asymmetrical or irregular. Actinomorphic, when flower is divided by any vertical plane into two equal halves, then it's called the actinomorphic flower. Example, mustard, China rose, dhutura, etc. When flower is divided by any vertical plane into two equal halves, then it's called the actinomorphic flower. Zygomorphic flower, when the flower is divided into two equal halves only by one vertical plane, then it's called the zygomorphic flower. Example, pea, bean, gulmohar, cassia. It is divided into, so there are normally three types of the symmetry of flowers is actually visible: actinomorphic, zygomorphic, asymmetrical. So what's the meaning of the zygomorphic? That when the flower is divided into two equal halves only by one vertical plane, then it's called the zygomorphic flower. An asymmetrical flower, when the flower cannot be divided into two equal halves from any plane, then it's called the asymmetrical flower. Next thing is the insertion of the floral leaves. Insertion of the floral leaves. So actually it has three conditions. There are actually three types of forms of thalamus as regards to the insertion of carpels in relation to other floral organs. So they are hypogynous condition, perigynous condition, epigynous condition. So hypogynous condition, perigynous condition and the epigynous condition. So what's the meaning of the hypogynous condition? That when petals, sepals and stamens are situated below the ovary. Just look at the structure. So this is the hypogynous condition. This is the hypogynous condition. Here the petals, sepals and stamens are situated below the ovary. Okay. Next thing is the epigynous. What's the meaning of epigynous condition? The margin of thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. Okay. So the other parts of the flower arises above the ovary. Ovary is said to be inferior. Next thing is the perigynous, the last one. In it, the thalamus grow upwardly and form a cup-shaped structure. That the gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flowers are located on the rim of the thalamus, almost at the same level. Ovary will be half inferior. Next thing is the calyx. Okay. So what's the meaning of the calyx? This is actually the outermost hole of the flower is called the calyx. Okay. Each member of this whole is called the sepal. When all the sepals are free from each other, then it's called the polysepalous. and when the sepals are fused with each other, that's called the gamosepalous. These two things are important for your examination. Next one is the corolla. Okay, next one is the corolla. What's the meaning of corolla? The second hole of the flower is called the corolla, and each member of it is called the petals. So when all the petals are free, then it is called the polypetalous, while when petals are fused, then it's called the gamopetalous. Okay. So next thing is the aestivation. This is very important for your examination. This aestivation is very important for your examination. Okay. What's the meaning of aestivation? That the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral with respect to the other members of the same whole is known as the aestivation. Okay, there are 5 types of aestivation is there, that velvet, twisted, imbricate, and the vexillary, and the quincunxial. Okay. So next thing is the perianth. What's the meaning of the perianth? That when there is no distinction between calyx and corolla, the whole is called the perianth. Okay. What's the meaning of perianth? The when there is no distinction between calyx and corolla is there in the whole is described as perianth. The individual perianth segments are called the tepals, and the green tepals are called the sepaloid, and colored tepals are called the petaloid. Next thing is the androecium. It constitutes third whole of the flower and is made up of one or more stamens, and each stamen consists of the filament and connective, anther and filament. Okay, it's collectively called the stamen. Next thing is the gynoecium. This is the last stage. It's the fourth and the second essential whole of the flower. Okay, so style, stigma, and ovary. By these 3 things, actually one gynoecium is actually formed. It is the fourth and second essential whole of the flower. It is female part of the flower comprising of the inner whole of the megasporophytes in the form of the carpels bearing ovules. If only one carpel is present in the gynoecium, then this condition is called the monocarpellary. If more than one carpel is present in the gynoecium, this condition is the polycarpellary. If all the carpels in the polycarpellary or multicarpellary conditions are free, then condition is called the apocarpus. If all the carpels are fused together, then condition is called the syncarpus. Next thing is the placentation. Okay. What's the meaning of the placentation? The ovules are attached on the ovary walls on one or more cushion called this arrangement of the ovule within ovary is known as the placentation. So there are few types of placentation is there. First one is the marginal. Just look at the structure. What's the meaning of marginal? The marginal placentation is found in the unilocular ovary. The placenta forms a bridge along the ventral suture of the ovary, and the ovules are borne this ridge forming 2 rows. Okay. Next one is the parietal. So just look at the structure. This type of the placentation is found in the unilocular syncarpus ovary. In it, the ovule develops on the inner wall of the ovary or on peripheral part. Next one is the superficial. This type of placentation is found in the multicarpellary syncarpus gynoecium. That's called the superficial. Next one is the axial. It is found in the multicarpellary syncarpus gynoecium. The fusion margin of carpels grown inward and meet in the center of the ovary. Okay, and free central. It means that this type of the placentation is found in the syncarpus gynoecium. What's the meaning of the free central? That in it the ovary is unilocular and ovules are borne on the axis in the center. Okay, and the last one is the basal. The ovule is the unilocular, and the single ovule is born at the base of the ovary. Just look at the structure. So this is actually these 2 things, these two topics are actually included in your chapter, in this chapter, and the rest of the portions are excluded. Okay, so in our next class we will discuss the another chapter with you. Okay, thank you, bye.